So I started my home bakery business doing cookies about 5 years ago. And since then, I've been able to take it to a whole other level. I've had a lot of success with my in-home bakery, and then I was able to take it online and reach so many more people. It's been amazing. I get questions all the time. Lauren, how did you do it? How did you make your in-home bakery successful? And I want to answer some of those questions for you, because if you've been thinking about starting a cookie business, if you're looking for a way to make money doing cookies too, pay attention. I've got some answers for you. So it kind of fell into my lap. It was during a time when I was really stressed out. I've got 3 kids, and my youngest was in the hospital a lot. He has some heart defects, and he was in the hospital a lot. We were trying to keep him home, and my mom introduced me to cookies, and it was the most amazing thing because I got obsessed with it. I needed something to kind of distract me and something that made me feel happy, and I found cookies, and that's how I started getting into cookies. So before I started doing cookies, I was a graphic designer. I still am a graphic designer and I love it, but I was running my full-time graphic design agency and working with clients, and then also being a mom and doing both of those. So when I started doing cookies, it was purely just for me. It was just for fun. I never even dreamed that it would turn into a business. In fact, it wasn't until I made cookies for my daughter's birthday, and then people started noticing and they asked where I got the cookies, and I said, well, I made them, and they were really surprised. And after that, I started getting requests to make cookies, and people wanted to pay me for them, and then it just kind of turned into a business before I knew it. Okay, so charging money for my cookies, I was never really afraid to charge money for my cookies, but I was afraid to charge too much. And I remember I struggled with feeling like, am I good enough to charge money for my cookies? Am I good enough to charge that much? So I ended up finding an amount, usually it's by dozen, right? I ended up charging something that felt good to me, but then I increased as I got better and as I was able to offer more to my customer, and I felt really, comfortable in my skills. Then I upped my prices. And pricing is really an interesting thing in this business because so many people think that cookies should just be cheap, but this is an art. These are custom made, hand decorated sugar cookies, and you definitely need to make sure that you're charging what they're worth. So first I started selling just regular size sugar cookies by the dozen, and also in sets. So I would do pre-sales where I would put together little sets of cookies. It was about 2 to 4 cookies at a time, and then I would charge a certain amount for those. A lot of times they were prepackaged. And then I would also charge by the dozen. I remember doing some holiday sales, and people wanted full-size cookies for their Thanksgiving table, and so I would charge those by the dozen. And then I also would do mini-sized cookies, so they're usually around 2 inches, and those are really popular. They were really popular for me during fall and Halloween season. People really loved minis. Oh, and Easter too. They're really popular around Easter. So typically, I would never charge, per one mini cookie. Usually I'd put it together either as a set of a half dozen minis or a dozen minis, and I would pre-package those and offer those to buy. So in the beginning, it was all word of mouth. People told their friends that, hey, there's a new cookie lady and she can make cookies for your event or your birthday or something like that. So it was all by word of mouth when I was making cookies from home and selling dozens and doing custom orders for events and things. So how did I market my cookie business? So when I was still doing a lot of orders from home, I was super active on social media, and I was on Instagram. So I started my Instagram. I was posting all the time pictures of my cookies. I would do stories all the time, showing cookies, kind of showing me decorating cookies. I would talk about the pre-sales I had going. I would talk a ton about how people could actually buy those cookies from me. And I was super active on social media. Facebook was really big too, and then word of mouth as well. Yeah, that's a really, really great question, because being able to stay focused when your busy life is busy. You've got a lot of other things that take your time. So it's a matter of really time blocking became my best friend. I began to block out times of my day and promised myself that it didn't matter what else was going to be pulling at my attention. I had boundaries. I had this 2 hours or 2 or 3 hours to work on cookies, and that's what I was going to do. So time blocking became my best friend, because all the other stuff, it's going to be there even when you're done doing cookies. I promised myself, and I made time for it, because how do we make time for the other job that we have? How do we make time for grocery shopping? Like, we know it has to be done. We make time for it, and cookies was something that I knew that I had to make time for. So time blocking was big. I also made sure to create necessity for it. Like, I made it in my mind as important as cooking for my family. I made it just as important as going to that other job, because it was that important to me. And I knew that if I didn't treat it as important, then it wasn't going to get done. That's a really great question. So the tools that you need to run your business, they're not going to be, rolling pins and things, although, it's easy to get carried away with really awesome, tools like that. But one of the most important things is a costing sheet. You're going to need to really be aware of what you're spending on ingredients, how much it costs for you to make a dozen cookies and to be able to deliver that to a customer. So costing sheets are really important, knowing your numbers. So people hear about QuickBooks all the time. Is there a free version of QuickBooks? There is, but as my CPA husband tells me, it's okay. I would say that if you are starting a cookie business, Wave Apps is a really good option, and that's going to be pretty cost effective for you too. I love this question, because so many people get stopped by the fact that I don't know if it's okay for me to make cookies out of my home. Can I sell them? How much can I sell? And it can get really confusing really fast and stop a lot of people, and I hate to see that. So we can always move forward towards our goals. And if turning this cookie thing into a business is something that you want to do, then the website that you need to take a look at to make sure that you are operating either within cottage food law, the regulations within your state or your county, check out forrager.com, forrager.com. That is a website that goes over cottage food law. You'll be able to look up your specific location in your state, and it's going to tell you what you need in order to operate out of your home legally. That is a great question. So if you're ready to go all in on your cookie business, I actually have something that can help you and lays things out really easily. It's called Doughmakers Business Academy, and I will walk you through not only how to immediately get going and starting making money with your cookies, but I go over how to have the business set up, cottage food law. I give you tons of resources to make sure that you can start off on the right foot and actually make a profit with your business. Too many times cookiers end up spending too much money, they're not making a profit, and then they're sad and they're disappointed. But I really wanted to show home bakers a way that they can start their business quickly, really make some money with it, and either provide for their family or reach whatever goals that they have with their cookie business. So Doughmakers Business Academy is right off the bat, I teach you how to run a pre-sale. You can start making money with your cookies in as little as 14 days. I know it seems crazy, but you really can. And then I walk you through the business setup side, even how to design your cookies. There's master classes that come along with that. And there's also a lot about mindset that has helped so many people. So the other really cool thing that comes with Doughmakers is a whole community of other cookie business owners just like you, who are striving towards their goals and making and baking a successful cookie business. So if that sounds interesting to you, you're ready to go all in on your cookie business, click the link below and learn more about becoming a Doughmaker.